Balance the profound with the profane. If you don't like people cussing, get the fuck on out. If you don't like learning, get the fuck out. But if you like learning, you like having a good time while you're doing it, you like laughing, you like meeting up with other like minds, we are here to have some fun. Thank you for joining me in the chat room on this Sunday morning. Y'all here instead of church, you know what I mean? I appreciate that. Well, some of y'all probably went to church this morning. I'm not gonna talk shit if you went to church. I used to spend every Sunday morning at church. Like I literally like from the age of 0 till about 32, I was in church every Sunday. Played the drums in church, 2 services, like from the age of what, 14, 15 till about the age of 30, 31. I used to be coming home from the club at 5:30 a.m. Take a quick shower, be right back at church at 8 in the morning. Church started at 8. I walk in at 7:59 with the wristband still on, getting right on the drums, getting it in. What's up in the chat room? Chuck Brown, what up? What's up, David Lee? What's up, Dominic? Deantra's Young, I hope I pronounced that right. Soul Train, thank y'all for joining the chat room. Much love, Jay Smooth. We're going to talk today, man. It's a lot we're going to talk about. It's been a lot going on over the weekend. What's up, Adrian Taylor? Adrian Taylor said something earlier on Facebook, had me dying laughing. I don't know, was it Facebook or Instagram? It was one of the two. I was talking about Mike Tyson getting his ass whooped during his prime, and he was like, you wouldn't say that to his face. I said, nigga, set up the meeting. And he was like, I don't know Mike Tyson. Well, shit. Don't tell me to say it to his face then. Shit. That's how you in that BS. If someone say, well, we'll say it to his face, tell them to set up the meeting. We all get to talk shit. Yeah, we all know we gonna. That's what today's subject is about. When you put yourself out there to be exposed, you gonna have people who talk shit. That's just part. That's just part of the deal. That's just part of the deal. I know. Look, when I'm on this mic, when I'm on the show, and I throw a joke out there, if that joke don't land, I know the chat room, I know whoever is out there looking gonna be on my ass like, man, that nigga ain't funny. You can say 99 jokes perfectly funny. People laugh their ass off. But go in and say, worse yet, don't let someone's first impression of you be a bad joke. Like people who've been knowing you and they kind of know you as a funny person, they'll be like, oh yeah, that one was a dud, but it was all right. If a person's first time seeing you, you're not hitting the jokes right, nigga, you ain't funny the rest of your life. What's up in the chat room, Antonio? Florida in the house. That's what's up. Jesse said the fight was garbage. Now, we're going to talk about that too. How you going to have high expectations of 2 50-year-olds? These motherfuckers got grandkids. That's the best granddaddy fight you're going to ever see. You're never going to see a better fight between two grandpas. You're never going to see it. So I see people out there talking about they could have did this. They could have did that. No, nigga, no. They did the best that they can do. Look at this picture right here. Look at this. Look at that. That's the best shape a granddaddy can be in. Y'all see that? Roy Jones got icicles coming down his chin. Roy ain't never letting that bowl cut go though. Y'all see the little bowl cut? Roy ain't letting that bowl cut go. That ain't happening. Look at him. Mike Tyson's skin look like beef jerky. And not because he isn't in shape. It's because he's 54 goddamn years old. If you want to see a dope fight between 2 prime athletes, watch Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia next Saturday. That's what I'm watching. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. That fight gonna be the shit. Hell yeah, new ways. That's how I'm trying to be at that age. Hell yeah, I ain't look, man, look. So a lot of you people see my fat ass walking around, and there's a lot of other fat people out there, and y'all be thinking that we all fat the same. No, the fuck we ain't all fat the same. I've been fat my whole life. I had I had thick wrists when I was 6. Who else wrist jiggle when they 6? Me. A lot of you motherfuckers was in shape. Y'all actually had Roy Jones 6-pack, like prime Roy. Y'all actually had a prime Roy Jones 6-pack when y'all was like in y'all early 20s, late teens. Now you got that big ass keg on your stomach with a neck roll in your back. And y'all want to come over to me like, man, we all fat, man. You know how it is as a big man. Look, nigga, this is a way of life for me, goddammit. This is some recent event for you. We ain't the same. I wish I could have, like, shit. One day, look, when I'm in my 50s, I'm gonna get in. I'll be in shape. I'll be in shape. What y'all talking about? I am in shape right now, though. I'm round. That's a shape. And I never cared about all that other shit too, because at the end of the day, with my shape, I still beat your ass in basketball. So let me see. You're right. It wasn't even a real fight. Let's see here. Somebody said Nate was set up. Nah, we're gonna talk about Nate too. But yeah, let's get on in here. Let's get to cooking. Reaction: Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. Look, Roy Jones and Mike Tyson are my 2 favorite all-time fighters. Right after that, Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones is my number 1 favorite all-time fighter. Mike Tyson, number 2. Right behind Floyd. Because those are the people I grew up watching. I love Muhammad Ali, but he wasn't boxing by the time I came around. You know, I love the videos. I do think he's the greatest based on what I've seen, based on his record, based on who he fought and what he stood for. Muhammad Ali is the greatest. But by the time I came around, he was no longer Muhammad Ali. He talked like this, and he couldn't really move his mouth. And I was like, who the fuck is that? My dad had to tell me and show me who Muhammad Ali was. Because when the 90s came around, I was like, we never saw him fight. So I can only say my favorite fighters are the ones that I saw fight. And Roy Jones, people forget. Roy Jones went from like 1992, 93, when he fought James Toney. After he fought James Toney in 93, because he lost a couple rounds, that fight, rounds, not the fight, he beat James Toney's ass. But after the James Toney fight, all the way through the John Ruiz fight when he fought a heavyweight, Roy Jones didn't lose a single round. Y'all really forget how great Roy Jones was. Roy Jones did not lose a single round. Mike Tyson was great, but Mike Tyson also got knocked out by Buster Douglas in the middle of his prime. People be forgetting that shit. Y'all be acting like Tyson fought the best of the best. When he did fight the best of the best, Tyson usually got his ass whooped. And that's not taken away from Tyson. That's just, that's just what it is. Either way it go, they both got up in the ring, and they, Roy Jones, they need to make their bread. They need to make their bread. So they got in the ring and made their bread. I didn't personally buy the fight because, I'm getting that Danny Garcia's Errol Spence fight next week. So I had to get the little download for this one. But, with all that said, I was scared. I'm telling y'all, the reason I'm telling you about Tyson and how he fell off and how Roy Jones' great was because when Roy Jones fell off hard. What's up, Reggie Harris in the chat room? Roy Jones fell off hard because he went up to heavyweight, beat John Ruiz, did the impossible, first middleweight ever to go up and win the heavyweight title. And then he lost that weight and fought Antonio Tarver like 6 months later. Don't quote me on the time, but it was less than a year. It was less than a year. Roy Jones lost that weight. And when he fought Tarver the first time, Roy Jones won the fight, but you could tell, even though he won the fight, he wasn't firing the way we used to seeing Roy Jones fire. And then that second fight, he fought Tarver. Oh my God. Oh shit. That broke my heart. It was the same night the Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kareem Rush had his only good game ever as a Laker to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers were headed to the finals. At the time, we thought they was going to beat Detroit, so everything was feeling good. The Lakers won. I'm on a high. Now, all I got to do is see Roy Jones beat this dude Tarver's ass. And if y'all look at a picture of Antonio Tarver, that motherfucker looked like, remember when Donald Duck would get his beak blown off and turned the other way? That's how Antonio Tarver looked. And he was always greasy, too, with pink lips. This motherfucker hit Roy Jones so hard. You saw Roy's soul leave the building and go to the Pluto and come back. This nigga Roy was out. Roy got knocked the fuck out. You think Nate Robinson got knocked out? Roy got knocked the fuck out by Antonio Tarver. And that hurt my heart. You're right, Prince Jaron in the chat room. Tarver was just a bad matchup for Roy. Tarver was a bad matchup for Roy. But I still think Roy would have beat his ass if they fought before Roy went up to heavyweight and came back down. I think had they fought at light heavyweight or probably super middleweight in 2098, Roy would have beat Tarver's ass then too. It would have been his hardest fight, but he still would have won. But I said that to say, I did not want to see, as much as I love Mike Tyson, I know that even though he fell off, even though Roy I liked Roy more than I like Mike Tyson, if Mike Tyson was able to land one of those power punches on Roy Jones's lips, Roy probably would have needed a brain transplant if he lived. That's what I was scared of. We saw how Roy Jones got knocked out by Glenn Johnson. Who the fuck was Glenn Johnson before Roy Jones knocked him out? This nigga Roy Jones got knocked out by some white dude in Australia so bad. It's about 5 or 6 years ago. Go back and look that up. He was like still punching in the air while he was out asleep. Can you imagine if Mike Tyson hit him with one of those sweeping rights? So yeah, I'm glad the fight wasn't as eventful as some of y'all wanted. Roy Jones did the right thing. Hit the nigga Tyson with them feather soft punches and then hold and hug. Hold and hug. Because if Roy Jones didn't hold and hug, y'all remember that video game on Nintendo, Ring Kings, with the afros? If Roy Jones didn't hold and hug, Mike Tyson would have uppercutted Roy Jones and that nigga would have flew to the locker room like on the game Ring Kings. That was my shit on Sega Genesis. That would have happened to Roy Jones had Roy Jones not held and hugged. So we got to see two legends make a nice, hopefully 7-figure payday each, hopefully 8-figure payday each. We got to see them make that money, and we got to see two men walk home with their brains intact. But the highlight of the night, Snoop and his announcing. That nigga Snoop was great, wasn't he? Snoop D-O-double Jizzle. Nizzle hizzle for shizzle. Yes, sir. That nigga came out, rapped some of his greatest hits with Dr. Dre and himself, and then sat down and announced his ass off. And you know, I'm kicking myself in the ass because last week I would have looked like Negro Diamonds to y'all. Y'all would have been like, this nigga Dwan be on the beat with this shit. But I didn't do it because I was busy. I was going to do a show on how stale announcing has gotten. And like how like if you notice when you watch football, and I wish I did this topic last week, because it would have been like I could have said I told you so today. But damn it, next time I'm gonna listen to my instincts and do the show. Well, anyway, I'm gonna talk about what I was gonna talk about last week. Look at how stale announcing has gotten. What made me want to bring that part up is announcing. When I was watching a college football game, and the announcers were bringing up like a team from the 70s. Same like when you watch basketball. You watch basketball, you will see Kevin Durant fly to the do his one leg fadeaway, and they'll be like, "Oh, he looks like Earl the Pearl Monroe." Get the fuck out of here! These announcers, man, they still, if you notice, they still be referencing shit from the 70s. Most of us weren't living in the 70s. These motherfuckers watch a football game. I know it's football on now. I don't fuck with the NFL, but I will watch, I'll watch about 20, 30 minutes of football every couple of weeks at a time. And I was watching an NFL game probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and one of the running backs made a move, and the announcer was like, "Oh my God, that move, he looked like Franco Harris." I'm like, nigga, I'm damn near 40 years old, and I ain't seen Franco Harris. So if I'm damn near 40 and I still can't understand the references you talking about, it's time you motherfuckers update y'all shit. Nah, I see you, John. They say trying to keep the legends alive. No. I don't buy that. That's baby boomers trying to keep their 20s alive. That's what that is. Them old stale white announcers, that's young, that's baby boomer, that's old white folks trying to keep their youth going back to their youth. It's been plenty of legends ever since. When was the last time you seen a basketball game and somebody say, "Oh, that nigga look like Nick Van Exel," or "He look like Tracy McGrady," or the only time they reference anybody that wasn't in the 70s is if they talking about Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan is the only person people can reference back in the 90s or the 2000s. You see Kevin Durant's game. Kevin Durant has the Dirk fadeaway. Give Dirk his love. Even Durant says that's the Dirk fadeaway. You got players out there, you know what I mean? You got shit. They always say Kobe and Jordan, but shit, Kobe took a lot of moves from James Worthy. Kobe took a lot of his pull-up game from Isaiah Thomas. There's other legends out there, but these motherfuckers always want to go back to their youth. I was watching a boxing match, the Tank Davis fight. When I ordered that fight, you had some of the announcers talking about Sugar Ray Leonard and shit. And I remember Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was great and all. I didn't like his hairline. Sugar Ray Leonard. Go back to that Sugar Ray Leonard versus Durant fight. That nigga looked like Lori Lightfoot. I like Sugar Ray, but it's been plenty of great fighters since Sugar Ray Leonard. Pernell Whitaker, Shane Mosley. Come on. Why these motherfuckers always got to go back to the 70s when they referencing some shit? Because they want to go back to their youth. And I'm not here to listen to some old white man talk about his youth. Insert Snoop D-O double jizzle, my nizzle for shizzle. Snoop came in last night talking like niggas. I love, man, shit. I wish I ordered the fight now. I wish I could have heard Snoop in surround sound. I was watching that shit on my phone. But this nigga Snoop. Did y'all see that part when Mike Tyson landed on a Roy Jones body, and he was like, "Let me get a side of Tyson barbecue sauce with them ribs." Snoop was talking like niggas talk when we watch the fight. Here's the thing. This is my theory, my conjecture. I'm not saying I know it all. But the reason why they keep these old, stale white men announcing these games is because if you put in somebody like a Snoop, if you put in a black person that's just quick with the tongue, slick at the mouth, they not going to be able to keep up. So who do they hire? Old, stale white dudes and niggas that wish they was white. Oh, yeah. Get your corny ass out of here, nigga. Get your corny ass out of here. They want corny niggas and old white dudes. Because the minute you see somebody like a Snoop Dogg do what he do, guess what happens? The audience says, I want more. Give me more of that. Who wouldn't want to see more of that? Let's look at what they were saying on Twitter about Snoop. He said, oh yeah, that part when he said, "This is like my two uncles fighting at the barbecue." Remember that part? Remember that part? Snoop was like, "That's like two uncles. Grandmama, come get them." They fighting again. Oh yeah, side order of short ribs with Mike Tyson sauce on it. Oh man, that's what she said. I mean, look at the reaction. People are loving what Snoop was saying last night. So this here puts the people that control the announcing and all that shit in a bind. Do we stay with these stale, sorry, stiff ass announcers and keep losing ratings? Or do we bring in some niggas that know how to talk and let them do what the fuck they do and get these ratings up? Networks, if you're listening, I know you're listening. If you're smart, you'd hire somebody like a Snoop. Or you hire somebody like me. Shit. Do y'all know how much I would love to cover basketball? With my wealth of basketball knowledge and jokes? Do you know how much fun that would be? Look, I want y'all to email the commissioner, Adam Silver, and say, hey, get that nigga DeWan to announce basketball games. No matter of fact, let's go holler at Ice Cube. Get me on the big three. I'll show you motherfuckers how to announce a goddamn game, and I can not cuss. I can hold off cussing for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'll leave the cussing at home. They need to start, because look, one thing about us as black folks, man, we dope as shit. Whatever it is we focus on, whatever it is that we do, we dominate and we win. Let's talk about that for a second. Black people tend to take it personal that white people want to leave us out of things. We tend to take it personal that they create all of these rules to disenfranchise us and not bring us around. I just want a white friend. I don't understand why they won't accept me. Chill with that bullshit. Why would they accept you? Every time your black ass come through, you do what they do with 1/10 of the practice, or maybe no practice, and you do it 10 times better. It's not about them caring about us. They're not supposed to care about us. They care about themselves. And if they smart, they gonna make sure they leave you niggas outside. Because the minute the audience gets to decide, the audience always goes with us. The audience, even the white audiences, at the end of the day, people just want to be entertained. At the end of the day, consumers just want the best product they can get. At the end of the day, companies want the most precise mathematics possible. So they'll hire us when they really need us in that area. They know how powerful we are. Look at the movie industry. The movie industry was basically dead in the late 60s, early 70s. Not nobody going to the movies. Movies sucked. At the same time, you had white flight. And after white flight, during white flight, you had these massive theaters open in all these cities nationwide: Detroit, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, wherever niggas live. You had these theaters that nobody was visiting. They'd watch a Bruce Lee film and a porno in a movie because it wasn't shit else to watch. Then insert the movie Shaft. Insert Superfly. What did it do? Saved MGM. Shaft saved Hollywood. Because when Shaft came out, not only did black people now come out to those theaters that were in the inner cities that were left abandoned and fill them up to watch the movies, white folks, for all the shit that they talk, when black people produce some dope shit, they right there paying and watching too. White folks got their own goddamn sports. They got disc shooting. They got rhythmic gymnastics. They got water polo. They got hockey. They don't even watch that shit. They come to watch us. Shit happened again with Black Panther. Movies wasn't making shit. So what do? Come out with a movie featuring niggas. And it's dope. They know how powerful we are. We don't know how powerful we are. What's up, yay man in the chat room? Appreciate that, my brother. You write that Dangerous Television. White people got the whole Winter Olympics. Tell me the last time you watched the Winter Olympics. But everybody's watching the Summer Olympics. When them niggas is running that 100-meter dash, the whole world is watching. We don't know how powerful we are. That's why we ask stupid ass questions like, why don't they include us? We need inclusion, diversity. All diversity means is a coalition of a bunch of people, non-white male, and to come together and still practice white supremacy against niggas. That's all a coalition is. That's all a coalition is. These coalitions have never come together to benefit us. They come with us and everyone gets rights and they keep the rights and give us less than 10% of what's left over. So let's just tell the truth. We have a major self-love deficit as a people. That's why we ask questions like that. And that's why they know they can't let people like Snoop on to announce and talk, because he's going to do it at a level that a white person that's been trained to do that, been doing it for 40 years, can't come within 10% of touching. Let's just tell the truth. Like, share, and subscribe, please. Donate to the Cash App if you feel so inclined. Go to hotepish.com. Because on hotepish.com, I got the merchandise. This shirt right here, this shirt dope as fuck. I'll be wearing this shirt and people love it. White people look at this shirt and be like, what does that mean? It means sit your punk ass down And stop asking stupid questions. White folks always got to come ask dumb questions. Look, white people, if you're listening, I don't have an issue with y'all, but stop coming to black people and bringing up the subject of race. You just want to know what I'm thinking. You ain't trying to solve shit. So this shirt here reminds people that it tells them that when Dr. John Henry Clark said black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping, that means an explanation too. These motherfuckers always want to come to us and have us talk about racism. They always want black people to explain racism. Well, what can be done? You don't owe them shit. You don't owe them an explanation. We talk about racism in-house so we can help solve it. We don't need them in on our conversations like that. Dr. John Henry Clark told us in his famous video, We Have No Friends. Please go back and watch that video. Got my scholar t-shirt. Wear that motherfucker. Get it. Oh yeah, and it's cold and shit, so make sure you get the hoodies. All that good stuff. Oh, hey, dudes, the t-shirt link. I'm not even on my own YouTube page. Let me go on over here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat room right now. It's hotepish.com. Y'all see this shit up there in the top right corner /apparel. Go to that motherfucker and get your t-shirts. Back to what we talking about. Hotepish.com. There we go. Okay, yeah, I had to copy this link. There we go. I want to make sure I copied the link in the browser and I put it in here. I'm doing 15 things at once and I spell that hoe wrong. Y'all be laughing at me for that too. Lawrence Reed said Tyson wants to fight Joshua. Hell no. Anthony Joshua beat the dog shit of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, 54 years old, people. He don't have the legs to fight a current heavyweight. He don't have the legs. He can hit them bags all day. Bags don't hit back. Anthony Joshua does. I do not want to see Mike Tyson fight Anthony Joshua. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want AJ having that on his record. Because AJ been ducking. AJ needs to fight Deontay Wilder. Been dodging his ass for 5 or 6 years. Fight goddamn Deontay Wilder. Stop ducking and dodging. Back to what we talking about here. We talking about, for those just now tuning in, the events of last night. And I'm going to tie all this shit back in. We have a lesson that all this running my mouth, if you're not into boxing, if you're not into anything that happened, we're going to tie this back in before the night's over with, or the afternoon's over with. Because y'all know here, I don't just talk shit. I like to talk solutions. And I like to tie whatever's going on in society with things that we can take and use in our daily lives. Nate Robinson got knocked the fuck out. I mean, got knocked the fuck out. And that's sad. I'm not too sad. I'm just sad at who he got knocked out by. I didn't know who this white boy was until last night. They said he was like some YouTuber or something like that. But I found out, my boy Reggie told me that the white boy actually been training and fighting his whole life. Nate Robinson just got in the gym last year. So I salute Nate Robinson for trying. I salute Nate Robinson for getting in the ring. But I never want to see a black man on his stomach like that with a white boy standing up. I don't give a fuck if the white boy been fighting. I don't give a fuck if the white boy is a ninja, a black belt, a samurai, nigga, and the Shogun of Harlem. I don't give a fuck if he all that. And the nigga just finished eating the whole wedding cake by himself. You still beat that white boy's ass. Or use a taser or something. Damn, Nate. He laid out. And the memes have been hilarious. He got knocked out, and within 6 minutes and 37 seconds of him laying on the mat, I saw about 1,500 memes of Nate Robinson in different positions laid out. He said, cuz got tucked in, bro. Nigga talking like an LA nigga. He got tucked in. That motherfucker went to sleep. And the internet ain't giving no fucks about Nate. I feel bad for his kids, his uncles, this nigga's aunties. They about to throw the stuffing out because that stuffing gonna remind, like, maybe if I'd have given him that stuffing on Thanksgiving, he wouldn't have got stuffed in his face by that white boy with a bowl cut. I feel bad for Nate. I give him credit for trying. But there's one thing I do know about Nate Robinson. Like, I know I used to be around the NBA. I was around a lot. I can't say I was around Nate Robinson a lot, but I was in the same, we've been in the same nightclubs dozens of times. We've been in the same gym dozens of times. Because I used to go to UCLA men's gym and off-season workouts. And then I would see Nate a lot. Nate's a tough dude. Nate ain't no punk. Nate is not no bitch. Let me tell you that. I remember I'm going to tell you one story. I remember All-Star Weekend when it was in LA. What was that? 2012, 11, somewhere around there. We were at the, it was a club called My House. And My House used to be called the Garden of Eden. For people who used to club in LA back in the 2000s and the 90s, it was a club called the Garden of Eden. Sometime around 2011, they shut it down and they renamed it My House. But the same place. We were at an All-Star, we had Carmelo Anthony's party. And they saw me. I used to be in the clubs all the time, so I walked right in. A lot of people out front. And Nate Robinson was out front. And they didn't want to let him in. They didn't know the nigga played in the NBA. They didn't want to let him in. And when I tell you, Nate, the way he walked up on that bouncer, I have no doubts in my mind Nate Robinson would have beat the dog shit out of him. Nate Robinson wasn't no punk. He ended up getting in because some other players that was coming in let him in. But Nate, if Nate decided to box when he was 10 instead of play basketball, he probably would have been a world champion boxer. If Nate decided to play football instead of basketball, he probably would have been a Hall of Fame cornerback. Nate, there was an infamous fight when he was with the New York Knicks between him and Malik Rose. I don't know if y'all remember who Malik Rose was. Malik Rose was that nigga that was on the Spurs when they won their second championship, and he had the raccoon dark donuts around his eyes. Y'all remember Malik Rose? Look him up. Malik Rose, if he didn't make the NBA, would have been a good garbage man. Because that's how he looked. That nigga looked like, and not these new garbage workers that had a little truck where they pick up the trash cans by itself. Malik Rose was like one of them old garbage men, the kind that had to get out the truck with them thick-ass gloves, empty each trash can by itself. Nigga was like 6'8", 6'9", and from what I heard, Nate Robinson won that fight. Don't quote me, I wasn't there. That's just what I heard. I heard Nate won that fight. I'm not saying I was there. I did not see it. Nate's a tough dude. But Nate fought a motherfucker last night that's been training for the most part his whole life. I respected Nate, but nigga, it's a damn shame. It's a new generation of kids that's gonna remember this picture of you versus you jumping over Dwight Howard in the dunk contest. I was at that motherfucking dunk contest in Vegas when Nate Robinson did that. I had some seats way at the top. Thank you, Baron Davis. And I saw that shit. I was like, this nigga Nate is great. And that was my everlasting memory of Nate Robinson. Now, it's this. This here. So, salute to Nate Robinson. Hopefully your family don't disown you. I'm not going to disown you. We not going to disown you. But we can't have no more pictures of niggas sleep with the white boy standing up. If you know, watch who you talk shit to, my brothers. Like me, you ain't gonna, don't talk shit to somebody who's been fighting their whole life. Don't do that. If you know somebody's been fighting their whole life in the ring, and you've only gotten in a couple street fights here and there with basketball players, and we all know basketball players can't fight. Don't call out that fade. Just don't do it. Because we can't afford no more images of niggas sleep and white boys with bowl cuts walking around dancing. Which brings me to Kevin Hart. It's all going to tie in. Kevin Hart last week. You know, this story isn't new by now. You guys all know what happened with Kevin Hart. We all know Kevin Hart. Yeah. He was complaining. This isn't a new story. This is an old story. But he was complaining about people criticizing him. And I saw a bunch of comedians online telling people, don't talk about Kevin Hart unless you have 7 specials too. Look, one thing about being an artist, when you put your shit out there, same with sports, you open yourself up for the game. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Y'all tell me if y'all can hear the audio, because I just set this shit up. Let me see. Tell me if y'all can hear this shit.
Care. Fucking 41 years old. I don't have time to give a fuck. 0 fucks given. I don't give a fuck. 0 fucks. I could not give one of them. If you had 10 fucks, I don't care. I don't give them. I don't want one of them fucks. I don't give a fuck. 0 fucks given. 0 fucks given. Okay, that's it. I'm done. You get the drift. Go watch the special. And hopefully you get to the point one day where you got 0 fucks to give to. On Netflix now.
All right. That's Kevin Hart telling everybody why he doesn't give a fuck. No fucks given. No fucks given. Kevin, look, man. Not giving a fuck used to be one of my favorite sayings. A DwannBrown saying, something that I love to say is DwannBrown don't give 1/4 of a fuck. Because I don't. Especially when talking about shit that matters like white supremacy, police brutality, the LGBTQ folks infringing on black rights. Not no fucks given when it comes to talking about the real shit. Kevin, and this isn't, look, I'm not talking shit about Kevin Hart. This isn't about Kevin Hart the man. Before he got famous, I don't know Kevin Hart, but I used to run across him a lot. A lot. To the point to where, you know, we see each other's face, we recognize each other, but that's about it. I don't really know Kevin Hart. And I haven't seen Kevin Hart in a long time. But I remember right as he started to blow up. The last time I saw Kevin Hart was right as he started to blow up and get really big, selling out stadiums. And I'll tell you this, he was every bit as nice and as pleasant as he was after Soul Plane. Start off by saying that. Kevin Hart is a nice dude. I used to see him all the time at the Comedy Union. Before I became a comedian, I used to go to the Comedy Union like once or twice a month on Saturdays, and Kevin Hart would be there. Joey Wells used to host. The guy who hosts the Plastic Cup Boy, Joey Wells, that hosts his shows now. Joey Wells was the host of the Comedy Union on Friday nights back then. And Kevin Hart would be like the third or fourth comic up. Then after Kevin Hart, it'd be David Arnold and then maybe Katt Williams. But actually, no, Katt had kind of blown up by that time. He wasn't really coming around to the Comedy Union, but Kevin Hart was. Good, solid dude. He's never really made me laugh, though. He's never been funny to me. Do I think he's funny? Yes, he's obviously funny because Kevin Hart makes millions of people laugh. I know how to see the difference between my preference and what's real. What's real is Kevin Hart's a funny motherfucker. Let's just tell the truth. He's a funny motherfucker. You don't sell out the Philadelphia Phillies baseball stadium with 50,000 people unless you funny. But the nigga never made me laugh. And part of the reason why Kevin Hart never really made me laugh is because he don't talk about shit. I'm a bitch. I'm short. I'm a bitch. My kids ain't shit. I'm ugly. Ooh, 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 ooh. Clap hand, clap hand, clap hand. Ooh, ooh. Clap your hands, stop your feet. Clap your hands. That nigga's comedy routine is like like one of them old elementary school riddles we used to do. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. That's Kevin Hart's stand-up. Foot stomping, hand clapping, gibberish. Silly, entertaining, funny to a lot, but not to me. Why am I saying all this? Kevin Hart. All this talk about I'm an adult now, I'm grown, nigga, you've always been grown. You was grown when you did the little movie what you've been playing a baby. The issue people have always had with Kevin Hart is saying you ain't talking about shit. So now you come out with a special called No Fucks Given. So when I hear No Fucks Given, I'm thinking personally Kevin Hart's about to go at these LGBTQ people who called him out for no goddamn reason for a joke he did 15, 20 years ago. When Kevin Hart said no fucks given, I thought he was going to go after these white folks that told him he couldn't host an award show after all the good he's done. Non-offensive comedy helped a lot of people. And he couldn't host an award show because some random flamer who don't like himself because of what his own mama and daddy did to him. Kevin Hart offended somebody who, some people in Hollywood, and Hollywood, that cesspool, jungle, sorry, dirty piece of shit place. He couldn't host an award show because he offended one of those thugs? I thought when Kevin Hart said no fucks given, he was going to talk about that. Because that would be truly no fucks given. Because if you talk about power, if you're talking about the system and those who can actually do something to you, you have to not give a fuck to talk about those who actually can levy consequences on you. What up, David Banner in the chat room? Real talk, bare facts. he apologized to them. Then makes a video telling comedians not to about his feelings. Yeah, old head Deuce, comic beef is whack. But Kevin, you make jokes talking about your own children, my nigga. And I'm not saying it's off the buck, but you don't really talk about nothing. So for you to come out crying and complaining and say you're a grown man now, and really the only thing new that you talked about was your big house and your rich people problems and cheating on your wife, and nigga, every comic on your level cheated on their wife, nigga. All of them. Hell, Richard Pryor cheated on his wives with men. You wasn't talking about nothing, nigga. It seems to me as if that's special. You gave all the fucks in the world to give. The only comics, and look, when I hear no fucks given, Corey Holcomb can do a no fucks given title comedy special. Because Corey Holcomb gives no fucks. None. I don't think Corey Holcomb know how to spell the word fucks to give. That nigga so goddamn funny. Dave Chappelle, he can do a no fucks given comedy special. Because he don't give no fucks. Nigga. You know who else can do a no fucks given comedy special? This may throw y'all off, but I think he's probably one of the funniest stand-ups to ever walk the planet. But he don't get his due. Freeze Love. If you ask me, Freeze Love is, and I'm not trying to compare and everything. I know Freeze Love, he would hate it if he heard me comparing. Because Freeze loves everybody, man. That's why he didn't go by the name Freeze Love. Freeze really do got a heart of gold and a lot of love inside of him. So he would hate to hear me comparing them. But I'm going to say it for him. You put Kevin Hart on stage, you put Freeze Love on stage, Freeze Love going to roast that nigga every time. Freeze just hasn't gotten the exposure that Kevin Love has gotten. And Kevin Hart just made some... Look, at the end of the day, Kevin Hart made some dope business moves. Super dope business moves. But he ain't no goddamn funnier than Freeze Love. Shit. Freeze Love will make you laugh and cry all within 5 minutes. Eddie Griffin. Hell, that's another one. Eddie Griffin can give a no fucks given comedy special. If you ask me, Voodoo Child was one of the greatest stand-up specials in stand-up history. Yeah, I see y'all in the chat. Yeah, y'all know Freeze is funny, but look, y'all don't know how funny Freeze is. I know y'all know Freeze. I know y'all know Freeze from 5150. And I know people seen Freeze way back on Def Comedy Jam, and some people saw him open for Charlie Murphy. Freeze on another level than any of that shit. Me and Freeze used to do a show together, and when I tell you Freeze can make you laugh in multiple languages, that nigga can make you laugh in multiple accents, as multiple characters, man. It's one of the dopest ass comedians ever. Patrice O'Neal, that's another one that could have done a no fucks given. Paul Mooney could have given a no fucks given. But Kevin Hart, nigga, that special being, Kevin Hart's most recent special being called No Fucks Given, that would be like getting a plate full of sausages and donuts and lasagna and pizza saying all health given. Health Food Central. With bacon wrapped hot dogs and egg cheeseburgers. This is the healthy diet. We over here eating right. We over here. We over here eating healthy for the new millennium for 2020. We health conscious, and you have lard fried pork chops on your plate with a side of fried ribs and Popeyes. That would be the equivalent of Kevin Hart calling that last special No Fucks Given. Oh, hell yeah, Robin Harris. Robin Harris is the reason why I even got into comedy. Man, I love Robin Harris. That was when Robin Harris died, I was like 9 years old. And that was the first celebrity death to hurt me. Robin Harris dying in, I think it was 1990, 1990. That was the first celebrity death to really hurt my feelings when I was a kid. I was 9 years old when Robin Harris died. Man, Bebe's kids, shit. House party. Dick Gregory could have given a special No Fucks Given. Bernie Mac, yes. Not you, Kevin Hart. And why am I saying this? Because I saw a lot of comedians on Facebook, on social media, saying, come on, comedians. Unless you've had 6 specials yourself, who are you to judge Kevin Hart? Nigga, I've been watching comedy longer than I've been performing it. Comedy is what I do, it's not who I am. I am a man first that happens to be a comedian when I feel like getting on stage. So as a man, I have the right to critique art. The same way these same sensitive ass comics that was talking shit, telling comics they can't talk about Kevin Hart, were the same niggas making videos about Nate Robinson 2 minutes after he was laid out. Niggas ain't never gotten a fight in their whole goddamn life, and y'all telling Nate Robinson he can't fight. Nate Robinson had the heart to get in the ring and fight. He wasn't a professional fighter. Yeah, he got knocked out. Yeah, it looked bad. But the same people mad at folks for criticizing Kevin Hart were going in on Nate Robinson. You hypocritical motherfuckers. Here's what I really want to talk about tonight. I'm so goddamn tired of men, especially as black men, doing this feminine shit by anointing somebody that does something great, putting them at God status, and then acting like we can't talk shit and have a good ass time like we do, just because that person's a God in your simple ass mind. This is a problem. I saw it with Kevin Hart. I see it all the time with you sorry ass bronsexuals. Not all LeBron James fans are bronsexuals, but we know the difference between the Bron boy, bronsexual, and just someone who likes LeBron James as a player. We know the difference, you sensitive ass niggas. Same as the Jay-Z fans. Oh, Hove, we can't talk about Hove because he's Hove. Then you'd be like, well, most of Hove's best lines were lines he just flat out ripped off somebody else and didn't even reword. I don't care, but he's still the greatest lyricist. Get your lips off his ass, nigga. Same with Barack Obama, faithful. Oh, well, Barack Obama didn't do anything for the constituency that got him in office, which is black people. He didn't have a chance. He didn't have a shot. I don't care. He's still the first black president. Leave him alone. Well, he gave gays laws, and I don't care. He's still Barack Obama. Niggas, we have to stop worshiping somebody because they do something great. I'm not talking about their greatness. Kevin Hart is great. He's made a lot of money. He's put a lot of people on. He's donated to charity. All the deflections you like to bring up, he's done it all. But when someone's an artist and they put their art out, just like they receive all that money that comes in from those who like it, you also subject yourself to criticism from those who don't. I'm going to have dislikes on my videos. I get people in the chat room and especially in the comments after I post a video with negative things to say. But guess what happens when they say those negative things? I just keep scrolling to the next comment. Because people have the right to express themselves however the fuck they feel, all right? Now, if they're trolling, I'm going to block them. If they're trolling, I'm going to block them. If they're doing something that's out of pocket, yeah, I'm going to check them. But outside of that, people got the right. Even the trolls have a lane. That's why I just block them. I ain't got time to go back and forth with no goddamn troll. Motherfuckers, I remember, look, and I'm not speaking to y'all as an expert. Look, y'all see my channel. I started this channel, 2010, 2011? But I didn't really start posting seriously on this channel until earlier this year, 2020. I would do 2 videos, 3 videos, and then not do a video for a year. Do a video, not do a video for 2 years. Why? Because at that point in my life, I had an issue taking criticism. I'm going to be transparent, yes. It's tough to put shit out there, art out there, and only 2 people watch. It's tough to put information. That's why I appreciate everybody in the chat room right now. We got over 250 people in here on YouTube. We got another 30 on Facebook. I got about 400 people up in this motherfucker now. Oh, shit. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all don't know how many times I said in 2012, 2015, 2017, man, I would do YouTube more if I could just have people listen. Nigga wasn't putting shit out the way I should. Why? Because as an artist, Erykah Badu said it, we sensitive about our shit. So we all go through these times where it's tough to put shit out. Because you know when you put it out there, you subject yourself to whatever arrows come your way. But if you smart, you read the arrows, and if the arrow makes, because some of them arrows you niggas throw make sense. Some of these arrows y'all throw make sense because it's like, hey, nigga need to turn his volume up. You know what I mean? A nigga needs to do this. Okay, the ones that make sense, you read them and you do something to fix it. And then you got other people, you can just tell they have issues between their own ears. They got daddy issues, they got mommy issues, and they come to your channel and they want you to be the confirmation for everything that you do and everything that they think, everything that they say. Those are the people you grow thick skin and say, get the fuck out of here or fall in line. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because as an artist, that is part of the art, part of the deal. Every job has the things that we love and the things that we hate. Even if you're doing something that you truly love, there's something about it that you truly hate. You play basketball, nobody that plays basketball likes doing the fundamental drills, slide drills, defensive slide drills, the cones exercises, the shooting. You got to put up at least you got to make at least 500 jump shots a day if you want to stay. No one really likes doing that. But everybody loves getting in the game and hooping and averaging 30 and 15 when they get in the game. You like that part. So you do a whole bunch of shit that you don't like to get to the part that you love. He said, the whole crew is fire. Hell yeah, I got a fire-ass crew. Kamira White, Craig Smith, Big Ja. We was all around each other when this shit first started, man. I love Big Ja, man. One thing about Big Ja, that nigga never put down his camera. Big Ja always had his camera in his hand. Big Jaw had that camera in his hand 6, 7, 8 years, and that nigga was only getting 30 views. That nigga was getting 100 views, 200 views. That nigga Big Jaw kept that camera in his hand. Now the nigga's getting millions of views. Larry's another good one. Larry Goodwell, he's coming up. Larry finally starting to get out of his shell. Craig, every time me and Craig we was talking about doing the podcast back in 2012. But the nigga Craig had to work. I had to work. We had other shit. And then that same thing, you put something out there, your early shit don't get the reception that you want. And that happens because of the things that goes on in our minds. No different than you and what you do. For the people listening, listen to me real close. Listen to me real close if you're listening. hotepish.com. Go to hotepish.com/apparel for your t-shirts. hotepish@gmail.com. info@breakthroughas.org for relationship coaching advice. Yes, my relationship coaching does come at a cost, at a price. But you can afford it. Cheaper to keep her. If you're having issues in your relationships, hit me up. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because we all have things in our life that we're good at. We all have things that we're great at. But oftentimes the things that we're good at, the things that we're great at, the things that come to us easy, we don't see that as the opportunity that we have to liberate ourselves from whatever conditions, whatever situations that we are in. The reason why we love Kevin Harts and Mike Tysons of the world and your Snoops of the world is because these are people who figured out how to unlock their potential and reach their highest self in their discipline, whatever it is that they do. That's the connection that we have to these people. That's the connection we have to your Jay-Z's and LeBrons and the people that people tend to worship. This is where things go wrong. Where things go wrong is people see these people that inspire us, that we love, that do these great things. And we tend to worship and deify these people. Instead of just taking what they do as inspiration to unlock the potential that's within us. We all can be as great as Kevin Hart is on stage in our area of expertise, whatever that is. We all can be as great as Snoop is. But we can only be that great when we take time to find out where that greatness is. And then once we find out where that greatness is, take the time, however long it takes, to cultivate that greatness within us. Sometimes we try a lot of different things. Some stuff doesn't work out. Some stuff we try, look. Sometimes you try something, you work real hard, and your ass end up like Nate Robinson, laid out on the canvas, knocked the fuck out. Nate Robinson trained hard for this fight. But he still got knocked the fuck out. Even within that knockout, there's a lesson for Nate Robinson. And that lesson is, it's multiple lessons, but one of the lessons here's the lesson that I draw from what Nate Robinson did. He's someone who tried it. Now, after him getting knocked out, he has a decision to make. Do I continue and overcome this? Or do I say, okay, that knockout tells me this isn't where my intelligence is. This isn't where my greatness lies. Let me go back and hone my crafts in the areas of my greatness. Because we all try some shit. We all do things. We all try a different job. We'll try something new. Niggas be like, okay, niggas be like, okay, I'm gonna get into golf, or I'm gonna get into whatever. And then you do it, and you be like, man, this ain't shit compared to what I thought it was gonna be. That's also a learning lesson. You know what not to do. Knowing what not to do is a great thing. That's why I'm bringing that up and what we're talking about here today. Worshiping celebrity, man. Stop that shit. If they inspire you, take what they do to inspire you to greatness. Like, everybody know me. Y'all know Kobe, my favorite all-time player. Well, Magic probably is my favorite. But Magic and Kobe. One thing I did about Kobe, like, people talk shit. I never was one of the people, when people talk shit about Kobe Bryant, to run in and just be like, oh no, but Kobe is a good father and blah, blah, blah. Man, fuck all that. I ain't about to defend no grown-ass man. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But when he was alive, I wasn't going to defend him, who he was as a person. I don't know that nigga. My only relationship to Kobe was what he did on a basketball court. And what he did on a basketball court inspired me, especially when I was in college. When I was in college, I had severe dyslexia. Reading a book was a bitch. You know? But I would see how much Kobe worked on the court to be the champion that he was. And I would apply that to my life, and I would be in school like, look, maybe the reading part don't work the right way for me, but what other way can I go about this whole college thing and still win? That was the message that I took from when I would listen to Phil Jackson talk. Phil Jackson would always talk about, look, man, it's not about your opponent, it's about you. Sometimes your opponent is going to present different challenges that disrupt the things that you're used to. It doesn't mean you can't win. It just means you have to find another way. What up, King David in the chat room? Yes. The whole point of these people is to look at what made them great. Listen to their interviews. How did they get great? They're going to tell you. I love documentaries. Niggas love talking about themselves. So these people, they going to tell you how they got there. Listen to them and use it. And if you can't use it, then move on. Another thing people say, Dangerous said Kobe's not a ball hog. No, he wasn't. Kobe wasn't no ball hog. Kobe just didn't pass it to sorry niggas. And I agree with that. Shit. I'd much rather see Kobe Bryant take a fadeaway over 4 niggas than pass it to a wide open Luke Walton. All Luke Walton gonna do is miss. Kobe Bryant had a better shot of making a fadeaway 3-pointer over 16 niggas, and Luke Walton had a making a wide open layup. Keep that ball. Shoot, Kobe, shoot. And then y'all turn around and praise LeBron James for being Mr. Pacifist. Well, he made the right play. He passed it. Yeah, he passed it to a nigga that was just as nervous as him. And that's the problem. That'd be the thing, man. Like you can't talk basketball no more. Like, people can criticize. I just want to go back to we talking about criticism. Niggas that talk about James Harden say he dribbled too much. They'll say Kevin Durant, oh, he cheated when he went to the Warriors. These other players, they've done all these things. Russell Westbrook, but he misses a lot of shots. He's Westbrook. But then the minute you say LeBron James needs a team full of Hall of Famers to win a playoff game, oh no, you're hating, you're this, you're hating, oh, you're hating. Shut your soft ass up, nigga. This nigga LeBron came to my Lakers before Anthony Davis got there and had the same goddamn record the Lakers had the year before he got there. LeBron James improved the Lakers record by 1 game when he didn't come with a legion of All-Stars and Hall of Famers. When the nigga just had regular basketball players on his team, not niggas on the way to the Hall of Fame, not niggas fresh off the Olympics, when he just had day-to-day players, the nigga couldn't make the playoffs. And don't tell me he was hurt. Because, again, you got to look at the details. When LeBron James got hurt, the Lakers were in, 3rd place? But they were only 2 games out of 9th place because all the teams were jumbled together. When LeBron James came back, the Lakers were in 9th place, but only 3 games out of 3rd place. LeBron James came back. Brandon Ingram was there. The bench was there. And the Lakers went on to lose 9 of the next 12 games with LeBron James starting. Why? Because with LeBron James having a regular team not full of Hall of Famers around him and no real pull-up game ability, teams were just stacking the lane and then they were stacking the lane and allowing him to pass out the shooters that couldn't make shots. And he had to rely on his skill for once. And Lakers kept getting smacked around and blown out. They kept getting blown the fuck out like Andrew Gillum's booty in a Florida hotel. So they had to sit LeBron James down and then be like, oh, we're just going to sit him down the rest of the season. Yeah, you're going to sit him down the rest of the season because you're 10 games out of the playoff hut with 12 games to go. But you bring that shit up. Oh, you're a hater. Oh, you're a hater. You're a hater. No, nigga, you a hater. You hate facts. So, yeah, LeBron James and the Lakers won a championship this year. You got Anthony Davis and Jeff Green, who also won championships. Danny Green. And the bench. The Lakers have a whole new. Lakers are easily the deepest team in the NBA. Not even close. Of course they should win. You got all that goddamn talent. You better win. GK Black said, would you consider Steve Kerr and John Paxson scrubs? What the hell that got to do with this conversation? LeBron fans, stick to the subject. I don't know what Steve Kerr and John Paxson got to do with this conversation because I ain't talking about Jordan. I got similar issues with Jordan fans. Look, Jordan fans and LeBron fans are the same, really, honestly. They the same goddamn things, one generation apart. Nike sold you niggas on a lie saying that Michael Jordan is the greatest when he wasn't. Michael Jordan was around in the 80s with Bird, Isaiah, Magic, and he was getting his ass mollywopped every year. It wasn't until them niggas got old that Jordan became who Jordan was. And he was the best player of the 1990s. And he had the dopest shoes. But Jordan also had easily the dopest and deepest team. He should have won. What if Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Akeem Olajuwon, or any of them niggas had a teammate as good as Scottie Pippen? Along with shooters as good as Steve Kerr and John Paxson, like GK said in the chat. What if they had that kind of floor balance in a triangle system like Phil Jackson? You don't think Dominique Wilkins would have won a couple championships had he had Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson and BJ Paxson and Horace Grant and Dennis Rodman? Same thing with Jay-Z. Same shit over and over and over and over and over again. Jay-Z was around when Tupac was around, when Biggie was around. Jay-Z was around when all the other motherfuckers were around. He was around. He was around through the late 90s, dropping albums. His shit wasn't playing more than DMX. I was here in 98. Nobody fucking with DMX, with Jay-Z over DMX. No. It wasn't until the 90s rappers either died, didn't get their contract renewed, and then insert the early 2000s, I call it early 2000s top 40 rap, the fuckboy era of hip-hop. Insert the fuckboy bling bling. Look at my jewelry. Bullshit era hip hop. Yeah, Jay-Z's gonna dominate that. Jay-Z dominated the fuck out of the 2000s. But remember the 2000s, there was a reason why Nas had to write Hip Hop Is Dead. Because hip hop was dying like a motherfucker back then. Jay-Z dominated a weak era, the same way Michael Jordan dominated a weak era. Mike, Zen Master, I see you, but Jordan, LeBron, same shit. Same shit. LeBron had 8 All-Stars. LeBron had 48, 49, which is way more. That's why LeBron can't be compared. I don't think he's as good as Jordan, no. And I'm not even a Jordan fan. Jordan, to me, is just the greatest of the 90s. All the extra shit you can leave out of here will come to Jordan. But Jordan played in the era of expansion. 6 new teams. After Kareem retired and everybody got old, insert the Orlando Magic, the Miami Heat, Charlotte Hornets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Toronto Raptors, Vancouver Grizzlies, and Charlotte Bobcats. Well, Bobcats came later. 6 new teams between the late 80s and the mid 90s. So that diluted the talent pool. So Jordan was the only great that got to have another great on the same team. Charles Barkley didn't have another great. He had other good players. Kevin Johnson was good. You know what I mean? Clyde Drexler had good teammates. Terry Porter was good. Patrick Ewing had good teammates. Reggie Miller had good teammates, but they didn't have great teammates. This nigga Jordan had great teammates. So when he would come in and when Jordan would go to the bench, Scottie Pippen got to run the offense and you didn't have no drop off. When Reggie Miller went to the bench, goddamn Deadlift Shrimp was running the offense for Indiana. And Indiana loses by 6 points. Well, the 6-point difference was when Reggie Miller was on the bench. And Jordan had Scottie Pippen in when he was on the bench. There's a difference. There goes your ball game. No, we're not elevating Scottie. You hating on Scottie, Zen Master. If Jordan didn't win a goddamn playoff series without Scottie Pippen, and he went a whole fuck ton with him, and then no more after him, how good does that make Scottie Pippen? Nigga. Jordan was getting swept by, look, in the mid-80s, Jordan was he wasn't even making it to play against the Boston Celtics. That nigga was getting swept by Sidney Moncrief and the Milwaukee Bucks. Jordan is great. But let's not shit on Pippen. If it weren't for that one sorry Ronnie Nunn call against the New York Knicks, Pippen would have had the Bulls right back in the Eastern Conference Finals without Michael Jordan. Pippen had the 2000 Blazers one Kobe and Shaq pass away from going to the finals. And we all know the Blazers would have beat the Indiana Pacers had they made it to the 2000 finals. Had they not faced Kobe and Shaq, Pippen would have been another champion. Stop shitting on Pippen, people. He was the best defender in basketball at the time. Pippen could have averaged a triple-double if he wasn't running the triangle offense. The triangle offense won't let players get big, gaudy assist numbers because the ball is decentralized through their motion offense. But had Pippen run a high screen and roll like LeBron James offense, I guarantee you, Pippen would have averaged 24 and 12. Easy. And I didn't necessarily like Scottie Pippen. I was never a Scottie Pippen fan. That nigga looked like former LA District Attorney Jackie Lacey. I wasn't a fan of Pippen. I'm just being... He said Pippen never won Defensive Player of the Year. Fuck them awards. Those awards ain't shit. You ain't realized that shit by now? Steve Nash got 2 MVPs and Shaq's 1. That should tell you right goddamn now them awards don't mean shit. Anthony Davis was clearly the best defender in the NBA this year. Had double the amount of blocks as Giannis. But the NBA has a whole agenda is pushing right now, elevating foreign-born players over foundational black Americans So guess who wins Defensive Player of the Year? Giannis and not Anthony Davis. And not the shit on Giannis. It's just talking about how Adam Silver and the NBA is what they're doing. So ain't shit on my brothers from the diaspora at all. This is just calling a chess game for what it is. Foreign-born players have always had a preference in the NBA. That's why they never criticized Tim Duncan's game. They never criticized Tony Parker. They don't criticize players not born in the United States. But let James Harden dribble the ball 2 extra times. Oh, James Harden, everything's short of the child of God. Greek Freak, you're right, King David. Greek Freak can't shoot and won 2 MVPs. You're right, Robert Nelson. Michael Jordan knew he wasn't the greatest player, and I believe that, and that's why that nigga, Michael Jordan's eyes are yellow. That nigga got jaundice, and he an adult. This nigga Michael Jordan walk around looking stressed the fuck. When was the last time you seen a picture of Michael Jordan and he didn't look like super stressed out, like he had hypertension, high blood pressure, jaundice, 2 feet from a stroke looking ass nigga? Why? Because he know that whole narrative is bullshit and he carries the weight of it. If Michael Jordan truly believed all that nonsense, you would see him actually look relaxed when he go outside. He don't believe it. Stop believing the hype, people. Stop believing the hype. The reason why they put these people out there, Chubby said Michael Jackson Thriller eyes. Yep. Chubby. Nah, man. Here's the reason. The reason why these people are elevated is because the powers that be, the people who control the 5 media companies that control basically everything we see, read, and hear, outside of when you catch niggas like me on YouTube. The reason why the powers that be elevates these people is because they have an overall agenda. And these people sell and push a lot of product. LeBron James is an economy within himself. His greatness has nothing to do with the basketball court. It has everything to do with his ability to move and push product. So if they have to lie to you and tell you he's the greatest and tilt the playing field for those who don't understand the game so it looks as if he is the greatest, it's because he's moving a lot of weight, a lot of shoes, a lot of batteries, a lot of Gatorade, a lot of cars, where the fuck he endorses and puts his name on. It's in their best interest to sell you and me and us and we a greatest person of all time. An icon, a personality, a Kevin Hart. Because when you elevate a Kevin Hart, that Kevin Hart can then come back to you and kowtow, bow down, not say shit to the LGBTQ folks when they unreasonably get on him, but turn around and shit on black society, like, and not really and talk shit about black folks because they can't necessarily come out the way they did in the 60s and shit on us. They need our athletes to do it. They need people who look like us to do it. They need LeBron James to come out and say, vote for Hillary Clinton, vote for Joe Biden. So they elevate him. They need Jay-Z to sign deals with the NFL and say, hey, we're going to bring equality black. Because what happened? The minute Jay-Z signed that deal with the NFL, niggas started watching football again. Meanwhile, niggas said Jay-Z going to work behind the scenes. What the fuck has happened behind the scenes in the year and a half Jay-Z's been working with the NFL? That nigga's scared. That nigga put together a Super Bowl concert, said Black Lives Matter once or twice, and now niggas are pacified. That's the only reason for elevating these athletes and entertainers. Niggas need to stop focusing on athletes and entertainers. Love them, take their inspiration for what they do, use it in your daily life, but don't motherfucking be like, look, they're people just like us. That's who they are. You're right, Kurt. Jordan was a great marketing tool. That's what he was. That's what he still is. Meanwhile, you got people falling out, losing friends. Because I can't believe you would hate on LeBron James. How can you hate on LeBron James? He got a family. He love his wife. He's a good example to black peoples. Look, nigga, if you got kids, you need to be that example. Stop waiting on LeBron. If you waiting on LeBron James to raise your kids going to jail, and your daughter gonna be on the stripper pole. Black people, we ain't stupid. We don't need no goddamn representation on TV to show us how to live. What the fuck do you care about a player's off the court life anyway for? You don't know the niggas off the court. They don't know you. And they probably, if you ask for $5 on the side of the freeway, they throw you the empty Gatorade bottle instead. All that shit. I'm telling y'all right now, don't be hitting me. I be seeing people all the time. I put up an Instagram post where I'm talking shit about an athlete, about LeBron. I'm just having a good time. And it, but you're hating. Man, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. You're right. Jay-Z owned a water fountain in the arena, Nets arena. That's some real talk. I'm glad you brought that part up. That point up. Grandiose. Jay-Z owned the Kingdom Come album. Y'all remember the Kingdom Come album? That's the album he had with Beyonce on it, and when they was getting together and all that shit. And he was talking about, now I park in my own arena. Hove. Nigga had us thinking that he actually owned the New Jersey Nets. I'm a basketball fan. Y'all know me. Y'all know how much I love basketball. My mind's an encyclopedia when it comes to basketball memories. I remember the New Jersey Nets have been talking about moving into New York, into Brooklyn since the 90s. The Nets sucked. New York wasn't trying to let that sorry-ass team into the city. In come Mikhail Prokhorov, Russian gajillionaire thug owner, new owner, potential owner. He says, look, I'm going to partner with Jay-Z. The New Jersey Nets are Jay-Z's team. The minute the New Jersey Nets became Jay-Z's team, now the Brooklyn talk gets serious. Oh, Jay-Z is going to bring a team to Brooklyn. Oh, Jay-Z said that, they said, oh, they're going to have to knock down this building where a bunch of black people own businesses and work. Jay-Z said, don't worry about it, Hove. We're going to hire black people into the arena. We're going to hire people from the community into the arena. Hove. This is going to be something for the community. Hove. What happened when that shit was built? Kicked out all them black businesses, and the people of Brooklyn been complaining ever since about the lack of hiring from the black people in Brooklyn. They used Jay-Z as the owner to basically gentrify black people out of Brooklyn. And what happened when Jay-Z stole his ownership stake in that team? The nigga got like 400 grand. He made like 400 grand back. That showed he owned less than a full percentage of the team. He basically, Jay-Z's ownership stake in the Brooklyn Nets could not have afforded a box seat for one season. He may have gotten like the box way in the back, but he couldn't even get a box seat center court with the amount that he owned into that team. But he had niggas thinking he owned because black people, they play us because we have such a humanity about us. They play our humanity. They play our humanity. Black people are like, oh, we got a black person, we got a black person, we got a black person, we got to support. So yeah, they're probably going to gentrify our neighborhood, but it doesn't matter because it's a black person that owns a team. It's a black person that owns a team. So a team that couldn't make a move for the previous 10 years that had been trying to make the move, couldn't move. Bring on this nigga that they elevated. He sells us on it being his team. Now black people are displaced out of Brooklyn forever, and he didn't hold up on his promise on hiring the black people who were displaced. Now he's moved on to the NFL with an ownership stake in the team that didn't even amount to 0.5%. That's how the powers that be use celebrity against black society. That's how celebrity is used against black society. We have to always remember that. That's why we should never under any circumstances ever worship celebrity. We should never worship celebrity. Admire celebrity, dig celebrity, enjoy celebrities, enjoy what they do, appreciate their artwork. But all that falling in love with celebrity just because they're celebrities, that shit gotta stop, black people. We gotta be smarter than that. We gotta be smarter than that. I want to thank y'all for joining me here on Hotep Ish Intelligent Ish Talk. Remember this. Remember this. Remember this. Remember to get your t-shirts. Oh, and also, get these. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Where is it? Do I have it up here? Damn it, I ain't got it up here. I ain't got the picture up here. Go on my website. You're going to see coffee cups for my new show coming out, Incense and Ashtrays Music Talk, with a music artist that you love in front and behind the music. I got some showstoppers coming out when that show gets to going. Y'all going to hear direct from some of the greatest artists that have ever walked the face of this planet about music. I'm going to kick Vlad's ass out of this. I'm taking over. Make sure y'all like and share. Grow this channel. Help me. I appreciate y'all for growing this channel, for being here. You're right, JK Black. Male Jay-Z groupies are disgusting. What's up, Mickey Knox in the chat room? I appreciate that. Mickey Knox says, fuck celebrities. I'm not on your channel listening because you're popular. It's because you have something to say, and that's not stupid. Your character is the only thing I give a fuck about. I appreciate that. And the same with you guys. I was just talking to my wife this morning how I'm really happy at the people who come in and watch the show, because the people who are here in this chat room, the people who like, share, and subscribe are people who care about information. They're not caught in cult of personality. I'm not here to build a cult of personality for myself. The story I told you guys earlier in this program about me taking so long to really put myself out there is because I never wanted to be. I don't want to be a celebrity. Fuck that shit. But I do have something to say that I think can help and heal people. My whole life, I've always worked in healing people. I've always worked in healing. I've always healed. I've always tutored, coached basketball. I got my degree in public speaking. So I've always loved to talk. And I've always liked talking for the purpose of bridging communication gaps and pointing things out. But it took me so goddamn long to actually put myself out there because I don't want to be no fucking celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. And the people here ain't here for celebrity. Y'all here for information. And I'm here to give out information and give it in a loving way. We see what happens in life and we use it as a teaching moment. This whole purpose of this broadcast is a teaching moment. Everything that happened this weekend is something that we can learn from. What's the lessons? Chuck Brown said, how do I cop the shirt? Look at the top of the screen. You see hotepish.com. Go to that website. It's spelled on the top right of the screen, hotepish.com. Click on merchandise. You will see the coffee cup and you will see the merchandise on the website. You see it, you see it, you see it. Back to what I was saying before I close this out. Hey, yeah, JK Black, I think I will do a Spence and Garcia post-fight probably on Sunday. Not that night after the fight because I'm probably going to be too high off weed and too loaded on Hennessy to talk to you niggas. But I will talk about that shit next Sunday. To sum up today's episode, this is how I want to basically close it out. Look, man, there's something to learn from everything that happened this weekend. Snoop Dogg. What's the lesson from Snoop? The reason why they keep these sorry, corny, stiff, sorry white motherfuckers on camera, on the mic, talking about sports is because if you introduce a smooth talking, slick talking, intelligent black man like a Snoop Dogg, he's going to blow them out the water. White supremacy isn't about us really being inferior. They know we're not inferior, but they know at the same time, the minute people get a taste of what we bring, they not gonna want what the fuck they bring. Like Thanksgiving. Would you really take a white person's Thanksgiving dinner over your grandmama? Nigga, really? But if you've never met your grandmama, never had your grandmama's food, and you've only eaten white people's turkey, dried out turkey and mac and cheese with peas on the inside, if that's all you knew, then that's all you know. You're probably gonna eat it again because you're hungry. But if you know about grandmama food, you ain't gonna eat no fucking spam. You right, King David, in the chat room to keep us dormant. You put a black person in a position that a white person, and when I say black person, I ain't talking about these Brian Gumbo wannabe white niggas. I'm talking about a nigga acting like a nigga. Snoop was talking how all of us, me, and everybody in this chat room, it's either us talking about this or somebody in our family. He's talking like our family. And the rest of the world loved it. Somebody in the chat room is real mad. I kind of see what poor man saw. I don't know what to take of what you. I just see this dude just talking. I don't know what he's talking about. Nigga said dropping N-bombs everywhere. Look, nigga, if you got a problem with niggas dropping the nigga word, then get your nigga ass out of here, because I'm going to keep saying nigga. Nigga be like, well, you see how negative the word nigga means this, and white people's relationship to the word nigga is a relationship to the word nigga that I'm going to adopt. Forget the fact that nigger, Niger, NGR been around for 10,000 years, referencing black people in the highest form. I'm going to take the white person's definition of nigger, and you nigger shouldn't say it because of what a white person did to bastardize the term. I got a question for black people who talk shit about the word nigger. Have you looked up the definition of the word black? Look up the definition of the word black and tell me that shit ain't just as derogatory as the word nigga. Look, anytime white people referencing us, they're going to have it in a derogatory context. All they doing is projecting their bullshit degeneracy onto us. That's not our story. That's their story. Going back to what we said, again, it all ties in. Going back to what we talking about Snoop. Black people not getting an opportunity isn't our story. That's white people's story because they know they can't keep up when we get the opportunities. What's the lesson to learn about Kevin Hart? Whatever you do in life, when you put yourself out there, it's going to be open and subject to criticism. That's just the way it is. We can't change it. Take the criticism that you can take and grow from. And if it's just somebody running them out, let them go. Fuck them. We got to stop worrying too much about what other people think about what we do and just do it. Because we got more people that love and admire than that dislike it. If it's any good. What do we learn from Mike Tyson and Roy Jones? Hey, whatever you got to do to make your money. These are two brothers that put it out there, said that they aren't too old, and did it. And they put on a good show. You're never too old to do what you want to do. If you feel like doing it, just do it. And if what you want to do don't fit into a box, create a whole new box. Or create a whole new... The lane for this Tyson versus Jones fight didn't exist before this fight actually happened. There was no lane for retired fighters to do a pay-per-view and make a fuck ton of money on an exhibition. There was no lane for that 48 hours ago. Think about that. There was no lane for that 48 hours ago. But with the success of last night's event, they just created a whole new lane for themselves and other retired professionals to profit on as they get older. It didn't exist, so what do you see? Niggas creating it like we always do. Because we dope as fuck. Whether you a nigga from Brazil, a nigga from Nigeria, or a nigga from Britain, or a nigga from the Caribbean. If you a nigga, you got it. Do it. You dope. We dope. You're right, King David in the chat room. Now we're waiting for the next one. The shit literally didn't exist. So they created it. Salute. That's been today's episode of hotepish, intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. If you don't like how somebody talks and it's too much and you can't get the message, then it's not for you. I get no shame, no shade. I'm not gonna trip. But don't tell me how to goddamn talk. I talk how the fuck I talk. All right, and I like cussing too. I'm not gonna shout out salute the boy swaggers. I ain't gonna shit on him, but I'm not gonna do no boy swagging shit where I need to stop cussing, motherfucker. Oh shit, I shouldn't cuss anymore. That bitch. Oh no, I should really stop cussing. Look at this. Oh, I cuss, and I don't feel ashamed for cussing. And I like people who can ingest and take in information from those who cuss, because it shows that you can filter through how someone says it and capture onto the message. And that's why I end every broadcast the way I'm about to end this broadcast now. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those that are willing to pick up the game. If you're willing, you'll get the information. If you're not willing, you're going to come up with some bullshit ass lame excuse. Like, stop cussing and stop saying it that way and don't say nigger. Were you here for the information, or were you here just because you want somebody to hoot and holler and agree with? Man, Shaw said, what about comedian boxing fight? You do not want to see that. Comedians cannot fight. You do not want to see a comedian boxing fight. That would be terrible and fucked up and horrible all at the same time. I'm Dwan B. We're going to be on Craig Facts later on today. We got a Sunday episode of Craig Facts, so tune in for that shit too. And I'll be back tomorrow, Brother Ron, and I'll be back on Randy Short probably tomorrow or Tuesday. Anyway, my name is Dwan B. Holla.